So in this video, I'm going to share with you a little bit more about the nervous system, because the nervous system is where we're making all this change in your life. And if you think about it, the nervous system is pretty much responsible for all information that comes in towards us. If it's coming through sensation or skin, heat, cold. If it's thoughts, it's being processed while in the brain. If it's visual imagery, it's the nervous system. If it's being able to kind of have actions, kick your ball, throw it, hit the bat, whatever it is, it's all to do with the nervous system input, processing, and output. And if the experience on the inside, what you're currently experiencing, this intense feeling, it's processing. If it's being afraid of something that's going to happen, or perceiving your environment, particularly if it's not, but as a dangerous thing, it's to do with how you're perceiving, nervous system, your environment. And if the output is you have an inability to, let's say, go up and walk to someone and start a conversation with a stranger, that's the nervous system. So it's everything. And so the nervous system controls, we believe, most or almost all other functions in your body, your immune system, your endocrine system. It kind of helps like pretty much send the messages to control the heart, the temperature, everything really that's going on. So it's like the master control unit. And so when in our work we're talking about working with the nervous system, we spend a lot of time focusing around the spine. If you think about the spine as what's enclosing the spinal column, so the vertebra is what's going to the spinal cord, which is attached to the brain. It's all made up of the same thing, neurons, brain cells. Some of them are really long, go all the way down for about 1 meter, and there's lots of them that are all interconnected. So the thing here is there's lots of different things that I'd love to share with you. I could go on and on and on. The work helps kind of work with this, and it's really complicated as into how exactly it does that. And when I thought about creating this video, I went on and on in my head, kind of going over what I would do, and added all the different levels, and it got more and more and more complex and probably less and less helpful. So in the attempts to kind of give you something for those of you who want a little bit more, I have probably simplified what I'm going to do. And I found some old videos that I made when I was talking about an element of the work that I do. So this is going to be probably a really good starting point. Why is it complicated is because the work's evolved in the way it's evolved means we're integrating lots of different things together, but I cannot explain that in a way that it's going to make any sense at all. Definitely not in such an introductory video. It would take a lot of time, which I don't think is that interesting for anyone unless they're studying this work, and then it's incredibly interesting. So for what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of explain it this way on a real superficial level, based on a basic kind of NSA was what the work we're doing has kind of springboarded from. And so the basic work of NSA is based upon this idea that there's different ways that we store and lock up tension patterns in our body. And there's 5 major patterns, the ways that our nervous system distorts to stresses and it adapts to what's going on. And that tension becomes bound in the body. Now, although this is only a part of the work that I do, we're going to focus on this video just to kind of help you kind of get a bit of understanding. And we talk about those 5 different things, those 5 different phases, and the body goes through different distorts. It holds itself differently according to each of these 5 different patterns, and they represent different things that's happening in your life. So often it may feel like I'm always contacting your neck, but what happens is you may not realize is there's a tiny little difference of what in your neck, because a completely different thing that we're working with, a different tension pattern. One may be to do with a pattern that we get kind of all locked up in our thoughts in our mind and get stuck in there, is different to when we're kind of worried or hooked up into fear of the future. And so there's different ways that we adapt to the 5 major stresses. And so these videos that I've created a while back will still be relevant. Now, please don't think that was what I am doing when I'm working with you. That's only a small part of what I'm doing, or a foundational part of what I'm doing. It's always there, present, almost always present there on some level, but it's only a tiny part of what I'm doing. But it's really good if you'd like a little bit of information, feel free to dig in and learn a bit more about the nervous system in that way. There's so many different ways. We're only taking a tiny little snapshot of something, but for those of you who want a little bit more, you've now got something to kind of to buy and kind of chew into and kind of to think about differently. This can be really helpful because some people like models, ways of thinking about it, like to kind of know what's going on in the sessions. And although it's not really going to change your experience, some people like to kind of just get their head around things and learn things. And so if that's you, then hopefully you'll find this useful. Feel free to ask me more questions. I'll be more than happy to share the answers. See you later. Bye.